So hello everyone,
Hello.
welcome to the new day and new vlog. And today we have with us again Muntasir returns. And you must have seen from some of the videos we are discussing about the subjects that we took in our first semester, and also one by one we are trying to cover the details of them. Yesterday you must have seen we covered QMQA, and today we thought that we'll talk about data visualization.
Correct.
And I think we took this subject in our
Winter semester.
winter semester and supplement
In our supplement.
in our supplement block.
Yeah.
Uh,
As software engineering is our major,
Yeah.
and intelligence system is our minor.
Yeah.
We took this courses in our supplement.
Yeah, and so we took data visualization as well. I think it was quite relatable. And if we'll talk about various points. For example, the subject overview, the exam part, and as well as our experience. So if we start with the subject overview.
For the subject overview, the name is data visualization. I think it falls under the category of visualization
Yeah.
and others.
Yeah.
And it is a 4 credit subject. And the professor is a lady. Currently, she is teaching.
Yeah. In our batch, it was her. So we are telling the experience of our batch when we came in first semester.
I think her name was Heike Late.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly, but yeah. And it is a 1 hour course. Usually all our courses 1.5 hour.
Yeah.
But on the first class, she asked that what do you prefer? You prefer 1 hour course? We said, oh yeah, we prefer that.
She said that I can take 1.5 hour class as well, but I usually prefer that I take 1 hour class in 30 minutes. I can give some kind of assignment or homework that you read this page by your own in your home.
Correct.
And then you can do the respective assignments.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that was class lecture about.
Yeah.
And after every 2 lecture, there is an exercise.
Yeah.
You have to submit the exercise on time.
Yeah.
The exercise is online. So
Yeah.
there is a online in the
OLED when you go, you
Oh,
can see the exercises.
Correct. You can see the exercises. You
Yeah.
have to submit it, but the exercises are mandatory.
Yeah. So yesterday when we talked about QMQA, the exercise were not mandatory, at least for our time. And I think for data visualization, it is mandatory. Now, we also got, I think, coding assignment. So we had to do coding, right? We have to perform some data visualization
in the
tasks.
exercises, there was two or three type of tasks.
Yeah.
There was some slides in the lecture. From those, there are some theoretical questions that
Yeah.
we have to answer. Some multiple choice question. Some questions that were given a graph. You have to get the output of the graph, like data visualization, and write something. Or some coding task as well,
Yeah.
like how you can do this.
So it's a combination of both, that you have to do a coding task and you have to solve multiple choice question. Now the thing is, the coding task you have to submit, right? The coding task do not have any specific points to pass.
Points, correct. But for some exercises, it happened that based on the coding exercise, you get some output, and from there you can answer some questions.
Yeah. So it's
if you don't answer you complete the coding part, you
Yeah.
cannot answer it.
Yeah. So it's kind of relatable. But the thing is, you have to clear a percentage of exercises. For every exercise, you need to pass it to I think get cleared with the
Yeah.
exam and
If it
to
is
register for the exam.
Yeah, if it is like for 15 mark of one exercise, you have to get at least 12 marks, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And there are 5 or 6 exercises in total.
Yeah.
I would not say it is hard. It's quite easy if you give some time.
Yeah, and I think it is manageable. Also, one of the points that you are about to mention regarding the exercises.
The some hackings, you can say that, for example, multiple choice questions, when you give one answer of the question and you click next, you will immediately see on the top that you get this mark.
You 1 point or not.
1 point or not. So if you answer correctly, the point will increase.
Yeah.
And if you answer wrong, you can have that.
You can reattempt that question.
There is multiple reattempt, so you can reattempt
Yeah.
as many times. So you have that option.
So one can try hit and trial method as well, and then maybe get cleared with the question, because as we said that MCQs or those quiz questions one has to clear at least in our time, and the coding questions are also mandatory to submit at least, but they don't have any specific clearing criteria that
I think the assistant of the professor, the person that was taking our exercise class, she actually also goes through our exercises coding submission.
Correct.
She sometimes explains that you did this, you did this. So it's better if you submit the coding exercises,
and
but
then you
there's
can
no
ask
point.
queries. Yeah.
There's no perfect way. Okay, this is the perfect way.
Correct.
This is the one.
Correct.
You have to just do it.
Correct. And after submitting the exercises, so what used to happen that sometimes suppose you have visualized some things in different kind of graphs, and some people have plotted it differently. So I think it's good to go in the exercise session as well, because when we used to go, there were multiple plots which people used to show that, see, I performed it in this way and some people have performed it in other way. So she used to explain that multiple people can have multiple options, so you can just go there and verify, because I think for some of the question there is no fixed plot or answer.
Correct.
Right? So if you want to clarify your answer, that are you doing it correctly, then I think one can also go in the exercise sessions where they discuss the previous exercises coding part as well. So if we talk about subject overview, as he said, then exercises are mandatory. You have to do quiz. As he told, you can see one by one your points are getting incremented or not. And also the coding size you have to submit, you have to send them or you have to submit it, but they don't have any specific clearing criteria for coding. But for MCQs, yes, they do have that.
Now I have another hacking technique. I would say the exercise is mandatory. That means you have to submit it online.
Yeah.
But one thing is, you don't need to attend the classes or exercises if you want. For example, you already, if you know, okay, this is how you are going to solve the exercises in the online, you can just go and solve it. You don't need to attend the classes or the exercise sessions. Those are not mandatory.
Yeah.
Only the submission is mandatory.
Submission is mandatory, but the thing is, if you want to understand the subject,
Correct.
then it's good,
always
to go to the
attend
exercise
the
sessions,
classes.
attend the classes. You can even write your code, ask your doubts in the exercise session. If you just want to clear the exercises, then obviously you can clear
do
that.
it.
One more point, as he was saying, that I remembered, that while submitting the coding task, so sometimes what used to happen, that suppose some person has also used your code, right? So suppose, for example, I'm taking an example. Suppose Muntasir took my code and he submitted, suppose, the exact code. Since it does not have any marks, so I also plot it this way. Now in our time, the person who was supervising this exercise session used to check codes. So if she finds that the code is exactly the same, you haven't even changed the points or the plots or the colors, then she can mail you also that, see, this time I've seen your code is matching and you have copied the code, and I can disqualify both of you and can disqualify you from giving the exam. So even if the code does not carry any marks, or you have to just submit it to clear that part, but still I would say that you, even if you take some reference code, at least change something, at least try to add some of your points. This is, I think, one of the recommendations. If you submit the exact code, then you might get a mail regarding this, because you have to just submit it, because they just want to see that at least you tried something with the code, right? And then, as we said, then quiz has 10 marks to clear, and then you are good to go. So I think, as he said, going to exercise sessions are not mandatory, but submitting exercises are kind of mandatory. Now coming to the exam part.
Yeah. So exam, I think, also in 1 hour.
Yeah.
I don't exactly remember, but as far as
1
I
hour.
know,
Exam was 1
hour.
hour. Yeah.
But there are a lot of students.
Yeah.
Lot of students. We took the maximum hall, and the questions are quite
Yeah.
solid. To answer the questions, there are online questions available in Kai. If you
Yeah.
can go to the Kai, download the previous year questions,
Yeah.
and try to solve those.
And they are application based as well.
Correct. They are application based. You have to understand the topic to answer those
Yeah.
questions.
Correct.
So it's better if you are majoring in data visualization, then you get the concept of other these related relevant topics as
Yeah.
well, and you can answer easily.
And even if you're not, suppose if you are in software or intelligent or any some other field, then still if you go to the classes and attend and understand the concepts, then I think it's manageable to answer those questions. Some of the questions were implementation based. You remember, like the charts ones, and the PCA question, somewhat
question,
like the property of PCA. How will you define whether it's a PCA or not? So some questions are theoretical that you can answer if you know the concept. So, and also they ask that if it is a 2 marks question, you just write 2 lines.
Try 2 lines.
Try 2 lines.
To the point.
To the point.
To the point. And actually, I would say use proper terms.
Yeah.
For example, this is how, just like he mentioned, PCA. If you write something other than some synonym of PCA, or like they will be saying that write proper terms and while answering,
Yeah.
do the proper answer. If it's 1 line, write 1 line. You need
Correct.
to
Correct.
write the paragraph. I
Correct.
think that is common for all our subjects here.
Yeah. So you just need to stay on the point, because it's not like, because they say that if it's a 5 marks question, you have to give 5 minutes of time, or you write 5 sentences. If you can cover that concept in that much time or space, then it's good enough.
Correct.
Right? And I think it's 60-minute paper. So 1 hour paper and almost 60 marks.
60 marks. So you have to be really fast
Yeah,
to answer all the
Yeah.
questions.
So they said this thing only, that 60 minutes, 60 marks. So means for every point you have to spend 1 minute. So like that, and maybe have to be quite quick so that you can have some time to revision. I think, as far as I remember, we still had 5-10 minutes.
Some minutes.
Some minutes left.
Yeah.
So the question paper, like, you will have enough time, I believe so, because in our time it was like that. It might change in your time.
Correct.
But but in our time it was like that we still had, I think, 10-15 minutes till the time was over. And also in the exam, as he said, there were a good amount of people because this subject, I think bachelor student also take.
Correct.
So some of the people who study bachelors here, they were also part of our class. And we, I think, gave that exam in Unisport.
Unisport.
We
correct.
gave because they had a quite
Yeah, in the Unisport you give this exam usually.
Yeah.
It depends. You either Unisport or Audimax, because
yeah,
with the number of people registering, or these two are the only options.
correct. And I think the exam is good enough. The lecture is 1 hour. It's because teacher asked this thing. She only said that suppose 1 hour I'll teach my concept. The 30 minutes remaining concept, she has already uploaded the videos in OLED as well.
Correct.
So you can go and see those concepts video in OLED. You can submit exercise in OLED, submit the code, download the assignment from OLED, and then you can see rest of the syllabus in OLED. And yes, the exam is 60 minutes, and I think it is manageable. Data visualization, 4 credits. And about our experience, so I think it was new to us, but it was
Yeah.
manageable.
It was new to us.
Yeah,
I would say.
it was quite new to us because we thought that we'll try this subject, and then we thought that since it's quite interesting, because you have to do visualization, you have to write some code as well, and by the time we gave the exam, so I think we kept that subject in our supplement block.
Correct.
So I think that covers 4 credits of our supplement block. So how was your experience, if you want to just summarize data visualization?
The summarization was in terms of class. It was quite good. A 1 hour class, quite good. You can finish easily.
Yeah.
And the exercises was also good. Sometimes challenging. You have to do some coding in Python, I believe, but you don't need to learn Python or anything. There are some libraries you can use this and just write some basic codes.
Yeah.
Answering the quizzes also was challenging, tricky, and exciting.
Yeah.
Giving exam was also good.
Yeah.
I would say I would have more grabs if I am a visualization basic or major, or if I am focusing on my softwares is not directly related. So it's kind of as it is, you can.
It depends
see
on your interest or your
supplement.
background as
So
well.
if you have it's on your supplement, so it's not your major, so it's expected to be something different.
Yeah.
So I tried something different.
Yeah.
So that was okay.
Yeah, and since he was mentioning the exercises as well, so one more thing: if suppose you are writing the code or you are writing it for the first time, right? They also upload the solutions. So video solutions. So there they will not. I think for us they didn't directly give the code, but they showed us the code picture. So you can just pause the video, see how they wrote the code, and then you can write those codes. So you will have exercises solutions of the code as well. So even if you are trying, you can also refer to these solutions as well. So I think it's quite manageable, and you can. I think it's one can learn good concepts in that field, because many of the concepts were very
Also quite new to us
and very interesting. Yeah, like the graphs we used to see, and
PCA
Yeah.
and everything. We didn't think of data visualization in that way.
Yeah.
So we now know a lot of terms that is
Yeah.
related to data visualization.
yeah, and I think it is quite interesting to take that subject as well. Also, one more thing, when we discussed QMQA, we said that about our supervisors. So in data visualization as well, our supervisor was very helpful. So sometimes we had doubt. So what we used to do, that sometimes we wrote her the mail that we want to discuss our doubt specifically. So they even give you an appointment, or will allot you a certain time to solve your queries. So it can be one-to-one appointment as well. So sometimes they used to clarify the queries over the mail, or if you say that I have accumulated some queries, and I, instead of posting it in forum, I want to ask face to face, so they give you the appointment as well, and then you can clear your query. So I think they are very helpful. And if you want to clarify any concept, especially I remember when we had some issue in PCA, so we want to understand that more, then they gave us separate slot.
Sorry.
Yeah, and we went to the exercise session, and they still waited and solved our doubt. So I think they are very helpful, and you can, I think, easily, you can do that easily or hard. I think it depends on person to person, but I think it is manageable. So I hope you get some information about this course, data visualization, and we'll talk about more subjects in other videos. Rest, like, comment, share, subscribe. It doesn't take much time. Bye bye. Ciao ciao. Namaste.
Assalamu alaikum.
Chalo. See you in new day, new vlog.